Welcome, gentlemen.
Welcome. So I think it's also very important for these entrepreneurs to introduce themselves and maybe also to focus a little bit on the reason why you guys started up your company. So
Oh, well, was it a question? Or was it
yeah,
Yeah, we were brought
Oh,
up in here. We wasn't aware of that.
that's
So, what
well,
you are discussing about?
Yeah.
just shortly introduce yourself and perhaps maybe also introduce why you set up your companies and what the reason was behind why you started up in healthcare
We,
and digital health.
Yeah, digital health. Like we both have a background from entrepreneurs.
Do you need
And,
this?
oh,
Do we
it's
need
mine.
that?
So I have a background as an entrepreneur. Nowadays, I work in startup health. We have loads of digital health companies. We have 160 digital health company portfolio.
Wow.
And we support these entrepreneurs to build great businesses. And in healthcare, it's a little bit different from any other sector because life cycles are so long. Getting your first pilot, getting funding, building your sales channels and building your product in this complex environment where are hugely bigger requirements than any other business, you could say. So in startup health, we support the army of entrepreneurs from 15 different countries, top companies around the world, to build great businesses by offering them coaching program. So we give access to companies for investors and customers, weekly basis. We coach them to build better, like their story, their plan, their brand, and close up the deals and so on. But we also calibrate the companies every quarter. We heard about like accelerators before, and the challenge with the accelerators is many times they are short term. Building a company takes a lot of time. So we calibrate the company for years, every quarter, like how the entrepreneur is doing, what's the state of the company, what are the key things what need to be done. And we also look at their master plan for the future. Then we have a media where we give access for our portfolio companies to build their unique brand. And of course, we are funders ourselves. So we are like global transformation company. And I haven't established it. It was established by Stephen Crine, Unity Stokes, our great founders, among loads of key influencers. Just to give a picture, our like packable investors we had from the early stage were like Steve Case, guy who established the first internet company in the world, Mark Cuban, Jerry Lewin is our chairman, who led the stock market. After that, vice president of Time Warner for 15 years, like key players. And there we have built an ecosystem of nearly 40,000 players. Where are customers, investors, entrepreneurs, and then loads of investors. They are corporate venture capital investors, VCs, angels, super angels, angel syndicates, and so on.
Fantastic. All right.
So-
And I think we got the mics working again.
Yes,
So
is it?
Is it?
I think so.
Testing.
Test. Yeah,
Yes.
I think so.
There it is.
My name is Min-Sung Kim. I'm former partner and managing director of a venture capital fund based in Berlin. We invested solely in digital health. So we invested around 500K to 5 million euros. Was leading the analyst team there, and I've seen 2,500 digital health startups up to this, or back to this date. And the funny thing is, like 3 years ago when we started, there was no venture capital for digital health. So I think we built up a VC fund that was actually necessary for the ecosystem because digital health was very in its child shoes and was actually looking for financing rounds beyond angel rounds. That's what we provide. I think I made 6 investments. Latest was a Nordic company, 3.5 million. But like I said, that was back in the days.
Yeah, we were just talking about how much the investor conversation at Digital Health Days has changed just in 4 years. I mean, when we first started talking, it was almost like a handout or something, and now it's huge.
Yeah.
It's really, really huge. And investment in general has gotten so much bigger. I don't know if you guys see the TV show Silicon Valley. It's very sexy right now.
Yeah, and this is the thing. When I started my startup in health space, like 2001, as one of the co-founders, they are like great guys also at the same time. And I was lucky to be involved in that startup. Then there was no even word startup. There were not those elements what you need. Now we have loads of we have first hackathons, then comes accelerators which speed up the companies at very early stage. Then we have loads of co-working spaces. We have investors have all investment instruments, which way to do investments gone up hugely. Also the investors start to move from industry to industry to look like disruptive innovations, and they change the game. That's moved up greatly.
Yeah.
Then big players like we do all the components together for entrepreneurs, that they have these elements what they need to build the businesses.
Yeah.
It was, Aki is right, it has never been so cheap to create your own business. But when we look into digital health, I think every industry gets a punch in the face in order to create that ecosystem. So we had, for instance, Napster that revolutionized the content industry. I mean, I used to pay for my CDs, and now when you look at the youth, they are just downloading or streaming the music. When you look at September 11th, that was a huge punch in the face for the travel industry. Then you have also the Lehman crisis, which was a huge punch in the face for the financial industry. So fintech arose, and I think when we talk about digital health, it was basically the Obamacare Act that changed so many things. Yeah, the healthcare system was so in its structure so rigid and not flexible, and now with Obamacare Act, because of the legislation, the stakeholders within the system, they finally had to rethink processes because they were so inefficient. So they were looking for digital solutions.
And this is core things there at the beginning I said that huge need, then healthcare reform. The system has been locked for so long that has to be opened up because it has to serve the modern world with the modern technology which provides it. So healthcare reforms and changing these issues in regulative level per Europe, US, very important. In Europe, I see a challenge in that we're still quite siloed. We're not unbounded market. Every country have their own ways of dealing with the issues. And in European level, if we want to grow faster and accelerate the innovation in healthcare, it's needed also unbounding the markets in European level, but that's a very complex thing and takes time a lot.
Well, it requires a punch in the face.
Yeah.
If I may say it, I don't know about our viewers, how conservative they are.
But when you're looking at what I understand from your point of view is that you're saying that Obamacare has changed a lot in the field of digital health in general. It enforced a lot of innovation going on, and also from what I understand, more establish the field of health informatics or digital health into healthcare in a whole. Do you think that what we're looking at, of course I don't want to go into politics right now, but when you're looking into the future and seeing that a new president might come into charge and completely get rid of Obamacare, do you think that might also affect the amount of innovation, the level of innovation that is coming from the US? Might that also be a punch in the face of digital health in a world as a whole? Or do you think that the world is already established enough as a world on its own?
I think also the guy you are referring to is a guy who wants businesses to emerge. And it's very hard to turn back the clock. What is the floodgates are open in many sense, but nobody knows what happens. So I have a very statement to make in Scandinavian level before we finish.
I think when we have to look at the burden of cost. I think. Well, I mean, when you look at the healthcare system, we pay so much more money that, and I mean, the cost of healthcare is rising every year. So at some point, the system cannot sustain itself anymore. This is the one big driver that will force us to rethink our healthcare system, and think about new digital solutions to make it more efficient, to make it more cost saving. The other problem that I see is basically that we are getting the demographic change. We are getting older, and I think this is a big trend where also people have to think, okay, when most of our, or not most of our people, but like a big amount of our people are need to get care, proper care. I think there must be new ways, maybe new digital solutions, how to make their life more comfortable or keep them at home. Yeah? When you look at IoT, when you look at smart home, they are perfectly shaped for this future. That senior people can actually stay at home for a longer time. So when you see basically the trends, people getting older and the burden of cost is rising, these will eventually take us to a place where new digital solutions are necessary. When a new president comes in and then reverse everything, I don't know.
We have no other way of proceeding. It's like, because costs of care, as you said, imparable. They go up faster and faster, of course, because of the age pyramid, how many there are persons who pay the taxes. And lower costs, improved impacts, only way to do that is digitalization and completely reimagining the healthcare. And there are so much innovation coming in this space. It will transform
It will
next
become
few
a
years.
necessity.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
One
so
thing
too.
I would like to raise when we are here in Stockholm is that a startup health US company, but based in Finland, I would say that we have a huge momentum in Scandinavia. We have a very good level of basic healthcare, same like life science, medicine, research. There's loads where we can build in, loads of talented youngsters and older seniors who have done it business for bigger companies. And if we join the forces in Scandinavia in a way that we are the 11th or 12th biggest market if we join together, then we can be remarkable like front-runner market in digital health. Because there is an existing system which has to be a little bit improved and digitalized. We have a hugely good patient records, all gene banks, for example, Finland, loads of expertise in Karolinska and stuff in Stockholm, same in Denmark. There are huge things going on in Scandinavia. We're going to build all together is it like 35 to 40 billion euros worth of hospitals? How we interconnect these hospitals, how we do cooperation in Nordic-wise, to build test beds for startups, to build instruments, to build businesses, and attract also other players, big players, to establish their R&D centers in our countries.
I think
and
it would
we
be
become the test bed for the future.
Yeah. I think it would be a really, we're running out of time, so I have to.
Yeah. We can go on and on about it.
I would
This
love
is
to hear
very-
more, and I think you should certainly, if you're tweeting or if you're on Facebook, finish that up at the end. But I think it's so exciting to see what investment in digital health has come from just since
Absolutely.
Digital Health Days in the last few years, what you guys are doing, and thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank
and
you
I
so
Thank you very
much.
much.
Yeah.
wish you so much luck.
Yeah.
With
This
your
was nice pop-out visit here.
Thank
Nice
you.
surprise. There are also nice surprises.
That is very true. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so
Thank
much,
and
guys.
thank you for the viewers.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we actually have a double header
Yeah,
this time.
exactly.
We're bringing in some startups
Yeah.
that were part of the Dragon's Den.
Exactly.
Or if you're from the US, the
Yeah.
Shark Tank.
The Shark Tank, all from Australia.
Yeah. But we're bringing in some startups to really talk about some of the work that they're doing, and I think they're coming in now. But really looking at, a lot of them are employee focused and health focused, but using technology to look into that.
Yeah.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hey. Hello.
Well, we'll let you start off. You have the mic. Do you want to do a small introduction, 2-3 sentences, for anyone who didn't see you up on the main stage? Is that all right?
So my name's John Scott. My company is Soma Analytics. We have a smartphone application and analytics package that's targeted at companies, HR teams. It helps them to reduce attrition and absenteeism in the workplace, as well as, of course, improve employee well-being and productivity, etc.
Very exciting. Yeah.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Hi guys, my name is Alex and I'm one of the founders of IO. IO is a smart eyewear light therapy product that uses blue light to help people shift their biological rhythms according to their lifestyle and preferences. And it's IO is fully controlled by the mobile app, so you select your program if you'd like to use it for jet lag, for improving your sleep or for boosting your energy levels. You select it and then the app guides you throughout the whole process. You wear the glasses in as little as 20 minutes a day in order to feel the effect.
Marvelous.
Fantastic.
Glenn Bilby from Quinomatic. We've created a suite of software that measures your posture, movement patterns and balance. So we record a person in 3D and we store their movement patterns in 3D up in the cloud. So we have a library of you, if you like, up in the cloud. And with our movement laboratory software, a therapist, a physiotherapist or a doctor can pull down the person's 3D movement patterns as if they were in the room and analyze their movements. Press of a button, create a report. Press of another button, give immediate feedback to the person so they're educated about their problems.
Which is so important right now because we're hearing all this stuff about sitting is the new smoking, the way we're using our body, the way that we're moving with our body is really the wrong thing to be doing, actually.
Exactly, and then you have the aging population and fall risk. We should be detecting when people are about to fall or at risk of falling rather than just signaling an alarm that says grandma's fallen over and broken her hip. It's too late once that's happened. So there's a third of the population has a human movement disorder or a movement disorder, MS, Parkinson's, musculoskeletal problems. It's massive.
Yep.
And nobody's looking at function, they're all looking at structure.
It's fascinating. One of the things that I think all three of you have in common, or what I'd like to talk about this, just from my own perspective, I just finished a 7-month study on employee health. And one of the things that we did, I'm going to start with IO, is we adjusted the light in the office. And one of the things that we did was we made sure that we warmed people up in the morning. We had more of a yellow light, we had a dimmer light, a lot like the sun. And in the afternoon, we gave them the blue light, like what your glasses do. Cool. And then made sure to also warm them down or cool them down in the evening where they had the yellow light again, because it really, really affects our sleep. The thing I want to ask you is, are you worried about people misusing the blue light as some sort of midnight energy drink? Because it's more powerful than caffeine in a lot of aspects. So you can really disrupt a lot of rhythms. How do you make sure people are using this in the right way and not just completely disrupting their sleep cycle, for example?
Yeah. No, that's very good, and this is one of the key points in our product. What we like to do is understand the consumer, understand the user better, his or her sleep rhythm, how it, when does he go to bed, when he wakes up, how that is combined with his lifestyle. Yeah. And also we have sensors in place to prevent misuse. So we know when the person exactly used the glasses, for what reason, and for how long. And if the person is misusing them, we can shut it down from the software in a way, or just inform in a polite way that this is not the best way to use the glasses, and you can, so
that's great. Avoiding misuse is a big thing in digital health right now. Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Am I talking over you?
No, that's fine. We're all here to learn, I think. But one of the most interesting things that I found in a lot of the startups in digital health right now, and I think I can address that to all three of you, is that when you're starting up a company in digital health, that's usually because you're noticing something that is lacking in healthcare. So you're missing something, or there's a service or a product that you cannot find. What is your motivation to start up your own company? What has been your motivation, for instance, to start up the company or your app or service that you have been developing so far? And do you feel like the app that you have been developing has been beneficial to the people that you want to address this to.
Yes, definitely. I mean, the initial inspiration for Keller Mental Resilience was from the founders. So our 3 founders had a friend that was diagnosed with depression, and they'd also noticed, of course, that everyone uses a smartphone for texting, for messaging, and for using apps. And they thought, wouldn't it be great if we could help to relieve stress within people using the smartphone? And that's how the business was founded. And it has been very successful, and it does make a big difference. We've had trials with many companies. We're actually talking to many companies about actually selling the product now as well. And those trials have shown, I won't give you the stats because it's a small number of trials. They're large trials within a few companies, but it measurably improves or reduces people's levels of stress. It measurably improves their levels of productivity. And lots of other metrics beside that we collect too. So
That's
yeah,
great.
it's working very well.
Absolutely. And what about you?
Can I actually
Yeah,
do a
sure,
follow-up to
just-
that?
yeah.
I'm the interrupter today. So there's something, I live in the Netherlands, and we just enforced a law where health data cannot be seen by the company because they believe it's not an ethical situation. I work with a university, so I'm doing a study, and it goes to the university. Instead of the company, how do you react to people saying, my boss should know that I don't sleep well at night, basically, yeah.
It's anonymized data, so we're very aware of people's concerns, and we know that it wouldn't get off the ground if people's data was in the hands of their employees, because it is personal data as well. We have a very good and very detailed privacy policy that puts users at ease, as well as employers, because they're also, the employers and the HR departments are also people that are going to be using our application as well. So that will give them confidence too. So I think it's around a minimum of, say, 6 people. Anywhere below that, you can't really analyze a group at risk or analyze a geography. So we're very clear about that in our privacy policies, and we control that as well.
Yeah, I think grouping and anonymizing health data is so crucial right now.
Absolutely.
And needs to be done
Yeah.
on a grander level than it is. Now you can go.
Actually, I was interested in how what your motivation was
Yeah.
on setting up the company, because to elaborate a little bit more, you can often see that we're talking here about 2 different streams of healthcare right now. I hear the bell is going, so we have to speed up a little bit.
Yeah.
You can see that there's a consumer-driven healthcare and a company-driven healthcare, or a government-driven healthcare stream. Do you consider yourself as being a consumer-driven, seeing your own lack in healthcare that you want to solve with your product?
Yeah, I think this is basically the main incentive why we started the company. Together with my partners, we went to study actually in the Netherlands, and it was relatively gloomier and darker than our country, so there was the lack of sunshine, and we basically the need came from on a personal level. We were lacking energy during the day and wanted to try something more personal, and I think personalization in general goes very much in line with the whole trend of digital health nowadays, because gathering data, understanding every person's needs, and in our case trying to understand every person's chronotype in order to provide with the best timing of usage of light is something that we're definitely working on. So I would say more on the customer side, understanding him and trying to provide the best solution out there.
Okay, thank you.
Fantastic.
I
Yeah.
know that Glenn has also a very interesting story about that. You have been a Digital Health Days veteran almost. You have been here so many times. Maybe some words about the reason why you started the company and what you're trying to achieve with that. Because I know you're very much into the interactive, dealing with the patient, showing them the results right away. What is your idea about this?
Sure. So I have a clinical background, so I'm a little bit yrkesskadad, as they say in Swedish, damaged by my profession. But coming from sports medicine, where we have lots of gadgets, since the 80s we've been measuring with electric devices, force platforms, high-speed cameras, EMGs. This is not new for me and my colleagues in sports medicine, but you need money to do it. and that money doesn't exist in public health care, and consumers are only just starting to understand that they have access to it because they have a smartphone. So what's changed is the timing. The technology is not that different, to be quite honest with you, but how we use it is different. And what's very interesting is that digital health coming out of volume data is going to help us realize things that we never knew before, and it's actually going to create some myth-busting opportunities. So if we take, for example, the previous Olympics, most of those people have got 3D images somewhere where they record how they move, and that's how they win gold medals.
Yep.
If we could apply the same sort of outcomes-oriented medicine to everyday healthcare and get objective information instead of subjective information about people's movement patterns, in my case, then we could do with normal people and Mulmur and Mulfa, grandpa, grandma, what we do with elite athletes at the Olympics.
Yep.
Then they would not only reduce the incidence of illness and injury, but they would optimize their performance in life and have a much better lifestyle.
Yep.
For me, I'm kind of interested in both. I want people to increase the norm values, not decrease them. I want society to be healthier, not sicker. And unfortunately, the trend is moving in the opposite direction. We've got all of this multi-illness creeping in because people's behavior is wrong.
Yeah.
We know what we should do, but we don't do it.
Yeah,
And then we've got a healthcare system that's built on sick care, not the pursuit of health.
Well, we've certainly seen, we've seen a lot of evolution in sports and a lot of improvement there, and we hope we can follow. Unfortunately, we don't have any more time. Thank you so much,
Thank
gentlemen.
you so much for
and
being
good
here.
luck, and keep going. We're excited to hear from you where you are next year.
Yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
you will be here next year again.
I hope so too.
Thank you.
Thank you.